I got rhythm. This person I used to know, who may or may not have been my father, used to yell that intermittently during spontaneous fits of dancing. I cannot fathom why. This is a person who I used to believe didn't even like music. So after a while, I came to think that maybe it was just an oblique reference to The Jerk. I mean, he watched Soul Train and Solid Gold pretty regularly, but I always assumed that was just to watch the dancers. It's true that this person and their spouse used to dance to Proud Mary from Ike and Tina Turner while at weddings, but that I assumed was always at her behest. In my mind, it never looked any better than Bruce and Courtney. By the way, the video for Dancing in the Dark always bothered me. I understand now that filming in darkness can be tricky, particularly with 1980s technology. But on stage in front of thousands of people, this is our next best idea. Hey boss, what if we take your song about being a loser and trying to eyeball nail some innocent woman at the end of the bar, but instead we put you on the stage in front of thousands of your adoring fans, and then you steal someone's girlfriend from out of the audience. There are so many instances of continuity errors and just people acting out of character in videos and songs in really popular pieces of work. The comedian Rob Paravoinen once pointed out that the second verse of I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts, aka the Friends theme song, says, "Your mother warned you there'd be days like these." Even though the very first line of the song is, "So no one told you life was gonna be this way." Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer. Second verse, Gina dreams of running away. She cries in the night. Tommy whispers, okay? Whispers. Psst, 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 psst. How does John Bon Jovi, the bard, interpret his own lyrics? Baby, it's okay! Where were we? Rhythm. Right. Left hand knows what the right is doing. This episode, Ess-Fo, covers 3 especially rhythmic new songs, each up to its own devices. We'll visit with Boychik, whose bombed out building is in the time signature of your choice, along with the brutally heavy noise rock of Eunoia, who've decided that the number of the day is 9. But first, Saya Gray with Saving Grace. And if you're going to focus an episode on rhythm, why not start with a bassist? Saya Gray is a 26-year-old who has been a session musician for about a decade. She plays with the likes of Liam Payne and Daniel Caesar. Their reputation is in full effect. There's a 6-year-old video of Gray jamming at the NAMM convention in a jazz trio, which, I don't know if you know NAMM, but it's like the South by Southwest of musical gear. Fender also hired Gray as to endorse some of their more classic basses in a promotional video. So this is 2017. Gray is barely into their 20s. They're a renowned bassist. Gray has finally recorded their own music because, as you know, the road from session bass player to solo artist is well worn. Waylon Jennings was actually in Buddy Holly's band. He wasn't a ringer. John Paul Jones took a break in Led Zeppelin before he started his solo career. Same like Victor Wooten and Bootsy Collins from Bella Fleck and James Brown, respectively. So we're left with Stu Hamm, who went to Los Angeles with Steve Vai and would play on both Vai and Joe Satriani's solo albums before obliging his bass fans and setting out on a couple solo albums of his own, most of which sounded like the work he was doing with his guitarist buddies. So we might be dealing with something historic here. Saving Grace, Saya Gray. In an interview with the YouTube channel Colors, in conjunction with the fashion brand Burberry, do you have this in cashmere? In the video, Gray says that music was more or less inescapable in their childhood home and therefore inhabits their every atom. The song reflects this kind of disquieting musical ambiance. Chasing the melody up and down a spiral staircase, Saving Grace closes and opens windows at every landing while the city and its sounds kind of do a loop around the block. The effect of one layer of the song ascending and then another one descending at the same time, while other things kind of travel in a circle, it might cause both, number one, vertigo, and two, it causes you to miss things that are in the mix that are pretty neat. There's Doppler-like vocal harmonies, metronomic ska, an unusually loud kick drum. The primary bass line recalls Prince Buster's Rough Rider, later covered, I think, by the Specials, or was it the English Beat? Anyway, it's a metaphor for the creeping thoughts that are interrupting the moment's peace Grace's narrator is enjoying with a paramour. While Prince Buster was out chopping wood, Gray is very caffeinated. Her mind is racing while silently studying their lover for any indication of anything. The monologue seems very much on the interior. The lyrics mention Scorpios, which are known for their intensity. At the 140 mark or so, the vocals become more restive, though earlier there's a sensuality. Check it out.
I look to you as my saving grace, 'cause I'm afraid I'm shook. I look to you as my saving grace, 'cause I'm afraid I'm shook.
Gray is not shy, letting us know how much their thoughts are running away with this whole scenario. At one point, they alliterate tampon tampering with temptation, which comes from either one of two places. Either we can do whatever we want because I can't get pregnant right now, or I don't care if we, there's a cleanup in the center aisle. Each time, however, we are brought back into reality in this couple lying on the ground and staring at the sky. The next move is unknown. Saving Grace is featured on 19 Masters, which was released in June on Dirty Hit Records. The song was succeeded in release by the single Empathy for Bethany, which recalls early Iron and Wine and even Sufjan Stevens if you want to get more of an indication of Gray's range. Check it out. The links are below. For this song, I researched more music theory than I had intended, and I still emerged with few answers. The numbers at the beginning of a piece of sheet music are known as the time signature, and they're meant to give the musician an idea of how to rhythmically play a piece of music. For instance, 3/4 means 3 beats per measure, and those beats will be played as quarter notes. This is layman's terms, okay? Most pop music is played in 4/4, while 3/4 is most commonly associated with the waltz, for instance, the Blue Danube by Strauss. 6/8 time can be read as a doubling of 3/4, eighth notes instead of quarter notes, and the easiest examples of this would be rock ballads such as Unchained Melody or Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is where it got confusing. It turns out that the guitarist might be playing in 6/8, but the drummer might be playing in 2/4 because they're just doing this. Boom, pop, boom, pop. I wrote in my review of Bombed Out Building on Instagram that the song was in 6/8, but when I really thought about the piano melody, I thought it might even be in 12/16 because of the rapidity of the piano notes. However, when I looked at the drum pattern, which is 1, 2, 1, 2, all I had was number wang.
8 minus 4.
That's number wang, Simon.
109 times 17.
That's number wang, Julie.
47.
While Saving Grace by Sia Gray replicates what it's like to have thoughts interrupting you when you're trying to be quiet, Bombed Out Building by Boychik is nervous logorrhea, being so excited that you're just nervously talking. Boychik is Broadway actor Ben Levi Ross, who played Evan on the national tour of the Tony-winning Broadway play Dear Evan Hansen. Before you say, he's an actor, of course it's a theatrical song. No, 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 no! I have interviewed Tim Robbins, Jeff Daniels, Kevin Bacon, and in each case, they were promoting music that was meant to demonstrate that they put on pants one leg at a time, just like you. And when they put on these pants, they don't make gold records. If anything, this song establishes that Ross is nothing like you. It's arranged musically so that the beginning with the piano part is still very dignified. In the middle, there's a brief moment to gather yourself, but the piano melody is then replaced by a distorted guitar as our narrator begins to sweat. The piano pounds heartbeat chords, and then the song mellows it at the 2.5-minute mark, which is surprising. The key is the line, "We are already so old." I love that. I take it to mean that this, shall we say, vignette doesn't solely span the initial encounter, early infatuation period, but rather that the narrator has felt this way for the entirety of the relationship, and finally, now in the autumn years, feels comfortable enough to let their guard down. Musically, the song recalls Regina Spektor, Badly Drawn Boy, Patrick Wolf, Rufus Wainwright, and at no point does it sound like Sir Anthony Hopkins, William Shatner, or Zoe Deschanel. Boychik released the Jasmine Vine single just this month, pursuant to a full self-titled album in the fall, maybe September. No live dates were scheduled yet, though check itsboychik.com for updates. Links are below. My Roommate Got Psyoped starts like a song that MTV might have used for a segue or a lead-in segment 20 years ago, something by Korn or by Linkin Park. But if you listen closely again, you hear feedback breaching through the gaps. And during the first 40 seconds, this is pretty much the only reprieve you get. Spinal Tap, this one goes to 11. Well, Eunoia, they go to 9. Check it out. You know the phrase, pulls no punches? This song is only punches. Even when the guitars and drums relent, assuming your hearing isn't totally shot, the drums cock the hammer while more feedback pours in. And there's a break, though, in My Roommate Got Psyoped, where the band picks up speed and takes off, and they go off just like a speeding train. And then they pause, tell a little inside joke, and then they reincorporate everything, including that, what I said, the Korn MTV bit. The album, Psyop of the Year, was released this past spring on Nefarious Industries Records. Their Facebook page shows they haven't played an event since November 2019, so you're safe for now. But keep your eye out. Links are below. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. Visit my Instagram page for more recent reviews. There's also some short form, really short form, they're almost dismissive, reviews on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. However, one more time. Now you're clean and so discreet, I won't say a word. But most of all, this song is true, in case you haven't heard. In case you haven't heard, Axel. Who talks like that? And also, I won't say a word. You've just written and recorded a song for your major label debut that millions upon millions of people will hear.